What's up guys, it's Steve, and today we're going to be looking at this. It's the Timemore Smart Fish Mini Gooseneck Electric Kettle. Good mouthful there. In my last video, which I'll link up there, I talked about how the Clever Dripper was my favourite because you didn't need a gooseneck kettle. Well, I didn't pay full price for this kettle. I did not pay £95 here in the UK for this kettle. I like to look on the likes of obviously eBay. We have Spock here in the UK, we have Gumtree, and we have basically Facebook Marketplace, which we use to buy new and used equipment, be that everything. And I've managed to find this, it was just listed as a gooseneck kettle actually, on Facebook Marketplace, brand new, unwanted wedding gift, 30 quid. So I just had to get it. I had to buy it regardless, because £30, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's absolutely brand new, as you can see. It has like a mirror finish on the bottom. You can see yourself in there. So it's brand new, not a mark on it. So let's look at it. Firstly, it's got a nice minimal design. It has some nice markings on the inside, your minimum and maximum, which is good. I know, let's link it back to a James Hoffman video where he's mentioning the lid. He said it was a bit awkward. To me, it has got like a rubber seal on the outside. I guess that's sort of for heat and retention, but if you put it down there, I guess if you're just putting it on, yeah, you can get it a little bit awkward. But if you just seat it sort of central like you would and just give it a bit of a push, look, that ain't coming off. That's absolutely fine. It's made of nice stainless steel construction. We've got the plastic lid. It's a plastic handle, then it's got this nice metal sort of bronzed accent on the bottom. So that's nice. The base, the on-off switch is on the back here. And obviously everything, it's nice and smart. So when it's off, it is literally off. You can't see anything. There's no buttons. There is nothing. So let's bring in another camera and let's have a close-up of this little guy. Right, so if we just go and turn this on at the back, we flick it on, and there we have it. So you've got your start and stop there. That is the temperature you set. That's the current temperature. That's also a hold button to hold the temperature, but also if you hold that button down, it's a rapid boil. Now I know one thing that Mr. James Hoffman did mention was that this is very awkward in terms of he didn't want to stroke a kettle, wasn't very responsive, he found it awkward. I have to admit, I don't find that. Like, I'm just casually, yes, I am stroking a kettle, which is a little, I guess, weird. But I like the minimalist look to it. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty minimalist. So you just stroke it, set your desired temperature that you want. I think you've got to be a little bit lighter. If you push firmer, well, I'm pushing firmer there, and it still seems to be pretty good. And also we're going to be in the high 90s. You're not really, so one stroke from end to end moves it about 5 degrees. So the ranges that we probably want to boil in, you're going to be doing sort of 1 to 2 strokes. You're not really going to be going much more. So I don't really see that as an issue. I don't think that's a problem. So let's boil some water with it and brew a coffee and see what it's like. So just quick update. After a week's use, there's 2 more issues really that I want to address. One is the time it takes to boil. Now, obviously, the higher it is, the higher the temperature, the longer it's going to take to boil. But what I mean is, you set the temperature to say 95, it'll get to 94, jump to 95 pretty quick. If you set it to boil at 100, it literally sits at 99 forever, and you can hear it boiling, which is obviously something a bit wrong there, because you can hear the water boiling inside, yet it's just not clicking over to 100 and turn off. So eventually you end up just taking the kettle off because you know it's boiled. And also that brings me on to a point of changing the temperature. I showed in the video that it's easy to swipe up and down to change, but if you want to change from say 95 to 96, it's not that intuitive to do. You kind of have to swipe a few more degrees back and then go up again, which is just a bit annoying. So two of the things to be wary of. So kettle's just boiling over there. One thing I did forget to mention is as soon as you fill it with water, set your desired temperature, plonk it on the base, it does start heating. And with that, it gives you a little red sort of flame to tell you it's heating. And also it's obviously the left-hand side, as I'm looking at it in reverse, temperature is rising as the water's heating. So it's telling you sort of in real time how hot it is. So here I've washed out, just got a standard size 2 V60 filter paper that I've washed out. So we'll sit that there. I've got my Timemore C2 that you've seen before. We're gonna weigh out, I'm gonna go for 20 grams. Bang on. Into the top. Shit like that. And we're on 17 clicks here, so I guess let's start a timer. Kettle's still boiling, lovely. Make a little coffee bed in there, looks good. I could make a little hole. So I'm using a square mile coffee blend. Bringing it all into the James Hoffman today. Another thing I'll tell you, I actually forgot to put a drop of water, a little spritz, the RDT, the Ross chocolate, into my grinder, so look at the state of it. Look at that. It's all a mess, because I'm using water. So we've got a beep. Nice, oh, we've got about 4 beeps to tell me it's boiled. So we'll take that. Plonk this on the old scales. We'll tear that out, and then let's let that balloon. Start the timer. Oh, it's like a Mystic Magic pour. It's very nice, it's not too heavy. You want to, I think the minimum boil is about 500 mils of water, and I've put a little bit just above the minimum, and it's not heavy at all. It really isn't heavy, so that's good. And I'll let this bloom. I'm absolutely making this up. This is the first time I've used this kettle. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making this up. I'm going to do a 40-second bloom, and then I'm going to start adding some more water. There we go, 40 seconds. Nice slow pour. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to hold. Nice stainless steel. That's very hot, so I want to touch that. I guess sort of one negative maybe actually, if I was to plonk this just kettle back down again, which I'm going to do now, will it try and start boiling it again? So it's recognised the water is saying at 94 degrees. No, it's not trying to boil it. So that's good, it recognises that you've boiled it and it doesn't need to do it again. I think, to be honest, I need to probably read up. I don't know if my pour's too fast, too slow or what. One thing I do know, if I want to do a really nice controlled pour and a clever dripper, definitely can now, not that there's any point. I'll just let that sip through, and there we're going to have a lovely cup of coffee. Don't need the timer now. Just going to move that to one side while it finishes. Have a nice cup in a minute. So, final thoughts on this little guy. Do you know what? It's a tough one really, because for £95, do I recommend this kettle for £95? I think there's an element where now there's some exploration. So before I was just set in my ways, clever dripper, not going to use any other style. I'm just going to normal kettle, chuck that water in, chuck the coffee on top, done. Now there's a bit more ways of exploration in terms of temperature. We can different amounts. I can use different drippers. So that's your standard V60, but you've got like Kalita Wave, for example. There's many others out there. Drawing a blank on the drippers, but you all know there's tons of drippers out there, different ones. Pure Over's another one. Who else is making them? Let me think. Normcore just released one nice one again. They're all at Fellow. They've got one. So everyone's doing drippers. And you can just experiment, I guess, experiment with different coffees, different grinds, different temperatures. So if you're wanting to do something like that and have a bit more free time, I guess, a bit more experimental, then these probably are worth the money. You can pick up cheaper options. One thing I would say is, because it's all stainless steel and not plastic like cheap goes, it does stay very, very hot. Literally just pick it by the handle, otherwise you're gonna burn yourself. But that's good for water, that's good for heat retention, obviously, because it's metal. It's keeping the temperature while you pour. So that's nice. The spout is, let me touch the spout. Cooling down, but still, yeah, you can't hold that. Still pretty hot. Don't do that at home, by the way. Don't grab your hot kettle. Yeah, it's, if you're going to experiment, pick one up. I think you could maybe justify that spend if you're into your coffee. It's a lot of money. It's £95 for a kettle. That's a good chunk of money. Like I say, I didn't pay that, and I want to base it, this sort of review, based on paying that figure, because it's not fair to base it on what I paid. Otherwise, I'd just say buy them all the time. This is a better quality kettle than the Breville kettle I've got over there, which is just a standard one for your teas and whatever. It's better construction, it's a smaller footprint. It looks nicer. Yes, it can't take as much water, but let's not forget this really is aimed at coffee, really. That is aimed for chucking your water in on your mashed potato and whatever. This is aimed really at pouring your V60s, etc. It's aimed at nice slow pours with smaller amounts of water. So yeah, plenty of positives. James Hoffman stuff about the lid, I don't think that's an issue. The swipe, I don't think it's an issue. The minimum pour is maybe a little bit of issue if you're conscious about how much you're having to boil, but I think you could boil less than that. I just think there's a minimum set there for it to be, for them to be sure on the accuracy of the temperature that the water's going to. It needs a certain amount to boil, I think. I think you could boil less and maybe your temperature won't be quite as accurate, but to what degree, I don't know. You'd have to insert some thermocouples if you've got that type of thing. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, please ask away. Let me know. Also, if you could like this video, and also let me know if there's any stuff that coffee related that you want to know or you want me to review or look at. That'd be really good. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.